Are your poker results not quite where you want them to be? Maybe it's not about learning more strategies, but unlearning bad habits. Today I'm debunking 3 poker myths that are quietly sabotaging your win rate. My name is Andreas Wagner, I'm a live poker coach and I constantly come across players discussing these myths. The last one in particular is downright absurd, yet there are still people who cling to it. The first myth is a real classic. It's been around longer than Phil Hellmuth and is still what most casual players and just about everyone who's never played poker believe. And of course, Hollywood loves to feed this fantasy. In movies, poker looks like a showdown of facial expressions and quirky tells, with players spotting bluffs through shaky hands, no scratches, or the occasional eyebrow twitch. In reality, tells are extremely overrated. Have I ever won a big pot because someone scratched their nose at the wrong time? Sure, maybe once or twice, but I've probably lost just as many pots by trusting those gut feelings. While tells can offer minor clues, they're far less important than understanding ranges, bet sizing, and overall game dynamics. Over-relying on physical tells is a recipe for misreads and costly mistakes. So the first myth that we can debunk today is live poker is all about reading tells. Completely busted. The second myth is so deeply ingrained in players' minds that they can't imagine it being false. When players flop a flush draw, they light up like they've just inherited a yacht on a private island. But if they've got a made hand and the flush draw shows up, cue to panic. The knee-jerk reaction? Slam the gas pedal and bet big to protect against the draw. Here's the problem though. Overcommitting chips to protect isn't protection, it's just bloating the pot. And yes, you're technically ahead of a flush draw, but probably not by much. For instance, your top pair might only have 60% equity against a strong draw. Plus, most players chasing flush draws won't fold to a bet anyway. So instead of protecting, you're basically inviting them to pay the right price to see another card. So myth number 2 debunked is, I need to protect against flush draws. Because the truth is, you simply can't protect against flush draws. Instead, shift your mindset and bet for value. Now let's tackle the third myth, the one that I promised would be totally ridiculous. While fewer players believe this compared to the other two, if you meet someone who does, grab your fishing rod and start pulling that fish in. These players take a perfectly valid concept and twist it into poker nonsense. Here's their logic. In the lottery, if I buy 10 tickets, my chances of winning are 10 times higher than if I buy 1. Fair enough, that's true. But then they apply this thinking to poker. If I play 10 times as many hands, I'll win 10 times as much. And technically, they're not wrong, they will win more pots. And because they will suck out more often on their opponents than anybody else in their games, they feel validated. But here's the kicker. They'll also lose a truckload of money playing hands like 7-4 suited or Jack-Deuce offsuit. These are the players who limp in with every piece of junk they get dealt. So myth number 3, the more hands you play, the better your chances of winning. Completely shattered. And if you're ready to level up your game and leave these myths in the dust, click on this video here.